Good evening, everybody from around the world, America, across for overseas. Thank you guys, and welcome from the parts unknown, known as the Clem and Claw Show. Every Monday, second and fourth Mondays, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Division Time, 8:30 Central Time, 6:30 on the Pacific West Coast. With that being said, uh, well, there's not very much in the way of things. Uh, that's it. I'll say more when the show starts, but there's nothing to talk about. All we know is college football season has started. NFL season is on the way, also. So, yeah, that's it.
Well, thank you. Good night. Shortest show on record.
I'm not joking. We ain't. This is gonna be a very short show because, like I said, I will talk more. I'll talk more specifically for the sponsors. If you haven't got this fight, get these two fights I'm going to mention, and we go from there. Actually, three fights. I ain't gonna say much. Just okay. So basically, a little bit of an update when it comes to what you call it, the two fights. So if people were paying attention, Tilly said if you haven't gotten the fight between Laura and Reagan, she was giving you people at least a week to make that decision because eventually she's going to put it up on Clips for Sale at some point because I think it's been 2 weeks now, something like that. So she was being nice by telling people if you haven't sponsored the fight, you have a chance. Don't say she didn't give you a chance. And the same thing for Vika and Ashley. Same story. Don't say you have not been a chance. If you're not interested, that's on you. And that's all I have to say on that. Go ahead.
I know with the Vika Ashley one, that's the one. That's the one I was at.
Mm-hmm.
I think I gave a review about that on the last show. Did I not?
You did. You did. I'm talking about more of the sponsors, and don't say this is your chance. Don't say we didn't. Don't say Clement didn't tell you that you didn't. You got a chance. You have a chance to buy it or not buy it. Simple.
Yeah.
Same thing. Go ahead.
I was going to say for producers that's actually kind of cool because I know sometimes, especially if it's talent that you don't know or if there's somebody having a history or whatever. I know there's some people that will be willing to sponsor, and you normally have one or two things happen. You either have it's a financial thing where, let's say, for example, whatever you're going to have the match just doesn't work with their pay scale. Like for some people, they get paid first of the month regardless, or the first business day of the month, regardless where it falls on. For some people, they may not get paid till the first Friday of the month. You got some they don't get paid till the end of the month, the last business day of the month. And then some get the first and 15th or first and 16th. So sometimes I can kind of understand. I can't depend on that as far as whether to schedule a match, but I can understand where that can be problematic sometimes for people. So it's kind of a thing of like, hey, I need to. I love the sponsor, but I can't get it to you till maybe a day or two after fight. That's fine. Yeah. So like I said, for each producer is at the discretion. So for Tilly to have it to where you can still go in and sponsor, and get it and get all the stuff that you'll get because that's really the version you put out to the public is not going to be the same version as ones the sponsors get. So. Yep. So it is what it is. So I'd be happy for her and all of that, and so, yeah. So God be praised.
Also, fans, by the way, if you actually, I've actually done this a few times. If you want to write a review of the fight to the producers, it's in your best interest to actually ask them if they're okay with you writing a review, and then you do it, personally to them. It's better that way than just writing a review to like all these, what you call it, websites like Free Cat Fights and all that stuff, right? Because you're talking about you're giving your perspective. I've done it a few times. It's worked. I've wrote a review and then wait for the response. You guys' responses to your opinions, a one-on-one thing. That's a private people. That's a private thing. If you don't want the whole world to know about your review business, so just throwing that out as a disclaimer. So that's a disclaimer on that.
I'll put it this way. I may feel just a little bit different. I don't mind you. Okay, I'll put it this way. Well, let me ask for clarification so I'll make sure we're on the same page. Are you talking about people who are writing a review of the fight and it has not been made public yet?
No, I'm talking about the people who got the video and have seen the video, not the ones who haven't seen it.
No. I'm talking about, has the producer made it public?
Have they made it public?
Yes.
For me, I usually write to them. I don't usually tell them to make it public. That's between I do it as a private thing. It's not a it's not a public thing for me. I just write that
Okay.
then move.
I guess for me, but this is just be me personally.
Yep.
If someone wants to write a review, now they tag me on it, so that way I get to see it or whatever. They know that's nice.
Yep.
Um, but I'll put it this way: as a producer, I would feel some kind of way if someone wrote a review about a fight that they sponsored before I put it out to the public. Because once you put it out to the public, it's out there. Once I put the fight out to the public, it's out there. If people want to write a review about it, great. If they don't want to write a review about it, great. Um, and it's not like we have ESPNs and Fox Sports and all of
Yeah.
that of the
True.
world.
True.
But you have some people that can say, whether they liked it or not, or you have people that ask, again, if the fight have not been made public yet, where the average public can buy it, I would feel some kind of way about it. Or if they checked in with me, hey, I really want to, me, that's what it's fairness. But once I put it out there and it's made public where anybody can get it, after that point, it's fair game. This is just me.
Yep.
It's fair game. Now, you want to reach out.
I check in before I write. I check in before I do it. I say in advance, do you want me to do this? If the answer is no, I'll wait.
Right. I mean, I can understand that. I guess for me, this is just me as a producer. Once I put it out, that's the last thing I plan to do with it.
Gotcha.
Like as far as anything I want to do for promotion,
Gotcha.
or if I'm trying to save it for a rainy day, I'm doing all of that before I put it out.
Gotcha.
I guess just for me now, if I'm trying to review somebody else's stuff and they hadn't put it out, then I'm not saying anything, or I may just tell that person what I thought or whatever before it comes out. But once it comes out, it's free game. Because let's say, and I'll just use, I'm sure he's gonna watch this. I'll just use Dog for example.
Yep.
Dog 72.
Yep.
Let's say a fight comes out from production XYZ.
Okay.
And the fight is now made public. We may have both have sponsored the fight.
Mm-hmm.
But once the fight is made public, let's say if there's a message board or something and Dog feels led to put and say, hey, I really like this fight. I could come back and say, well, I like the fight also. Or you have some people may come in and say, well, I ain't like the fight. XYZ. That's what the message boards is there for.
Mm-hmm.
The false discussion. Because it's almost like, I'm not going to say that there's so many fights out there, so it's kind of hard to keep up sometimes because, especially if you're a smaller producer where you don't have either the time or the effort or the talent or whatever to do a lot of marketing or whatever. I know some people have, depending on how they're selling it, have the things to where every time a fight is sold, it makes a tweet about it or Instagram post or something. So that way to let folks know, oh, yeah, such and such fight is out. I can't tell you how many times, more often than not, that I realize somebody's fight is out is that they released it and somebody bought it and then, they're retweeting the fact it does that automated. You can have them automated, especially if it's like clips for sale and stuff like that. They have an automated that anytime somebody buy one, that it'll send a tweet out on your account saying that, hey, such and such, and don't say who, but and I can't tell you how many times I'm like, oh, well, you know what? I want to get that fight too. And now I just go and get it, But I guess with the message board, I guess to each own, but I said once it's made public, I'm like this. For me personally, it's fair game.
Gotcha.
Other producers may feel otherwise. And now it may be okay to check in. I'll put it that way. Check in with that producer and see how they feel about it. About it or what have you. Say, hey, I want to write a review. Do you
Yep.
mind? I
I,
guess.
I understand your perspective. It makes sense. I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, but if it's a sponsor fight and I got to see backstage and it haven't been put out yet, nah,
No,
gotta
no, no,
wait.
no. The thing with me is I'll talk about the fight. I'm never gonna talk about the back. I'm not gonna talk about the backstage stuff. I'm not gonna undermine that at all. So I leave that stuff in the back. I don't bring it
But
up at
even
all.
about the fight itself, I'm the type of person. Even if I describe a fight, I like to be where I really don't like getting really into the weeds of. I
Gotcha.
guess maybe this is just me being a fan, not so much of the result, whether it's a
Gotcha.
win or loss. It's
Gotcha.
more so the mechanics of the fight. Did the girls try hard? You know how I've always said on this platform, all 1-0 fights are not the same.
Correct.
They're just not the same. So is it a thing of, how did we get here? Where do we go from here? Um, yeah. So do the fighters care? At this point, I'm just happy to see people participate, show
So
up
am
and
I.
participate.
You're not the only one. So am I.
So as far as and you know how I feel about the 7S's, you know, how much of it that's really has helped me kind of get a gauge of
I
how
agree.
these things going to go.
I
There's
agree.
been a few that I may have been surprised, not so much the outcome, maybe the severity level of it.
Yeah.
I would say probably the biggest one was probably Shakira Sonny. I was not expecting that.
Neither was I. Neither was I.
Not to the level that was.
Oof.
Um the Valor Roxy Hart, I think that's what she's going by now.
Yep. Actually,
Match
she no, not Roxy. She's gone by. I think she gone by Chandy now. Chandy Savage now.
Chandy Savage. Okay. I can't keep up. Yeah,
But yeah,
which one?
I know she changed her name and it confused the heck out of me too. But I've been catching on lately. She's been on Twitter a lot
Okay.
lately, so promoting her
So
fights.
right. So I'm more of the mind state of I knew it was going to be a blowout. It was just
Yep.
which way was it going to go?
Yep.
Because again, the 7S's. So
Yep.
really, I would. Nobody has ever asked this, but I came into the 7S's really because of Sexy Y.
So
Because
sexy
I
was
was
the reason why you came to the 7S's.
is the reason why I came up with the 7S's.
All right, I'm
Because I
listening.
was trying to think of I don't think it was any one match in particular. Maybe I don't want to say maybe the Gia Love match, or it may have been the Little Rampage Gia Love match. I
Yep.
can't remember which one. I think it was maybe the Gia Love match
Yeah.
that I had the idea,
Yeah.
but I didn't really come into my
Execute.
own with it until
Rampage. Little Rampage.
no. I want to say
Was it Paris Love?
Paris. Paris
Okay.
was the first one I want to say where I
Okay.
verbatim talked because that's when it was like, okay, blah, 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 blah.
Oh yeah,
Because
that's
I'm like, if you're going to be somebody like Sexy White of the 7S's, it's like, you know, who's stronger, who has more skill. Did the other person, size wise, Paris was bigger,
yep.
speed,
Yep.
I think, yeah. So it's like,
Yep.
in order to be somebody like Sexy White, how many people even had at least half?
The answer is none. She didn't
No,
lose
no, no, no,
anything.
no. I mean, Gia was skilled. Paris was skilled.
Yep.
At the time, Little Rampage was skilled. So it
Yep.
wasn't like she fought some bums. Now
No,
she
no,
didn't
no.
fight the. There was some newer girls, that were just like Blonde Barbie and folks that we ain't seen since, or
So,
Yasmin, which we haven't seen in a while.
we
You
haven't seen
know,
period. You're right when you say wow. It's been. I
right?
want to say it's been. What has
But
it been?
it
Year, 2 years?
just size wise, that was okay. That was pretty average or a little bit bigger than her, and the size did not matter. She just went and it was almost like she could fight almost anybody regardless of size, and that
Yep.
for her was never going to be a determining factor. So you take that S out, then it's like the ring smarts. We talked about that and I add all of them from off the rip. Like how does somebody who just comes off the street essentially and just have the ring awareness, the mat awareness, and
There you go.
the understanding where the walls are. And, okay, I can use this to bridge out. It
Yep.
was just it was uncanny. It was almost like you can't teach it. It's like you can teach it, but she was like had this innate ability to pull that
Yep.
off.
I
And
agree with
then
you. Smart is
with the
definitely one of them. I agree with
which
you.
is
Definitely, smarts is definitely something you can teach, but at the same time, it's also innate, and you have it or you don't. That's what that goes
right,
to
right.
sometimes.
And then of course dealing with the skill, and then the fighting spirit. Like what
Yep,
I wanted to see, like where somebody would be like with her, I would rather get choked out than to submit to you. Like that's the
bingo,
epitome of a fighting spirit. That you
bingo.
would
That's
rather get choked
agree,
out on camera
agree,
than to
agree.
submit to the girl because you're just that stubborn.
That's it. Oh, that's another one. If you want
I
to put that as an
can
eight, you
tell
want to put that as an
you
eight. What would stubborn be in that list? What do you put
was
stubborn
stubborn.
on?
No, no, because that's part of your spirit.
Okay, I was just asking you. Is it
Nah,
like a
nah. That's why
subtitle or
stubborn
subheading?
is not because the whole point is to break the stubbornness.
There you go.
You know, it's just like, okay, well, you just got choked out. Now that
Okay,
being said, I mean, don't be no, yeah, it's no harm in going down with the ship. But if you
true.
feel you have to really have a hatred to someone to be like, I don't even want to give them the satisfaction to know that I submitted. You
Wow.
know, it's like we of course one of the more famous ones is the one where Brock Lesnar fought the Undertaker, and the first
Yep.
time the Undertaker did that triangle chokehold,
Yep.
Brock Lesnar just
He's
gave
like,
him the middle finger, and then just went ahead and just went on out. And from a wrestling standpoint, that worked for both. But to see that, I mean, as much as we want to see the girls compete and stuff, the ladies compete, you never see it get that bad blood. Like if it gets to that level, it's like
yeah,
I, that I don't want to say it's a fantasy, but it's just that I just don't think it get to that level because
I agree with you.
even if you look at MMA and boxing and all that, it'd be like they rather knock out than I mean they
Yeah,
ain't gonna throw in the towel. You gonna have to knock them out. You know, it's
yeah.
just
You really got to knock them out cold to the
and
point
then
where
and then when you knock them out, then it'd be like, okay, well I lost. I got knocked out. You know,
exactly.
the ones that get me is when you got knocked out and you didn't know you got knocked out because you
Ooh,
still, you know how like sometimes like you think they were like, Paul, you said, no, I'm not, no, I'm not. Like your
exactly.
brain thinks that you're awake, but no, you've been dozing off. Same
Correct.
concept. Like when
Correct.
that'd be the funny ones. They're like, wait a minute, why are we stopping the fight?
Why are we stopping the
You
fight
got
for?
you got knocked out. Like,
Bro, he got
no,
knocked
I
out. What?
didn't.
I did
Like,
not.
yes,
I did
yes.
not. What are you
Mm-hmm.
saying? We still fighting here, right? No, you got knocked out, bro. You in the
Mm-hmm.
hospital, bro. Right when they wake up, you in the hospital. How did I end up here?
Yeah.
Such things.
So,
But yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. The fighting spirit is definitely one of the most underrated ones. I agree with you with the smarts, man. Most fighters don't understand, man. This like I said, cockfighting is it's like a. I don't want to. I want to say chess game or checkers game or both. Where sometimes the most experienced people, think one move ahead or one step ahead, like you said.
which again, why I tell people, in my personal opinion, it's a sport, not a fetish.
It is. It is. Because as I always say, you heard me say this all the time. There's so right, like I said, this is sport. Someone's got to win and someone's got to lose. And when you lose, you learn. Right? You learn. That's it. You learn what you did wrong, right, and be better, like you said. So your next fight comes around. Okay, so I was not good at this. I need to be better at this. I can't do this, or else my opponent will be doing this. So people, it's a sport. It's a fantasy and a sport, but mainly a sport because someone's got to win and someone's got to lose. That's just how it is. And you learn. And then when you win, you gotta learn how to be humble too. That's another thing, right? Humility. Sometimes you know how it is. When you win, oh, I'm the best, I'm the best, I'm this, I'm that. And then someone comes to beat you like, boy, I thought I was all that. I thought I was this. I thought I was that. I'm talking about individual sports. Humility, people. Always gotta be in the grind, man. Always have to be in the grind. So yeah. So people go out there. So when you get a chance to sponsor it, go ahead and sponsor these fights. Help the producers out, man, when you can, man, and just be ready, man. When the time comes, if we have any more fights, when the time comes, be ready. Don't go hassling them like, when is it? When is this gonna happen, dude? There's nothing wrong with making suggestions, but when it comes to them, the producers, leave them alone. It's them and the fighters in the end. You guys are not the. You can spend all the money in the world, but in the end, they're the ones who have to make it happen. And fighters and producers have regular lives, people. This is a PSA message for the fans. They have regular lives like all of us.
Is this your way of acknowledging the Steve? Twitter posts of the two hairballs just sitting there,
Bingo,
and people just
bingo. You have nailed it exactly. We're doing too much, right? I'm gonna use your words. We're doing too much. So maybe he did. So just let's assume that he did do a cat fight. It's right. Let's assume that. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not going to assume anything. I'm just saying. I'm just playing the devil's advocate. Let's
I
assume
could
that
see
it happened.
Steve doing it just to troll, just to mess with folks. You
I
know,
think
he
you're
just
right.
like some days, man. And I've done this with Amethyst, and I've done this with a few other people.
Mhm.
Some days, man, you just wake up and you just want to cause mischief. Like you just want to act the fool. You just want to. I don't want to say piss people off. That's not what I'm trying. No. It's like you just want to start ish. Like there'll be like some
Right.
days you just wake up. Like I just feel like being the villain today. I feel like being the heel. You know, there's some
Correct.
days you wake up. Not you know what today, or this may be the day you realize I give no f's. You know,
Correct.
and it's just like, and sometimes you need it because sometimes maybe in real life there's so much going on in mundane or the mundaneness of what's going on, and
Mhm.
you need something to kind of jolt and give a good break. And sometimes that thing could be that one thing to let folks know, like, hey, I ain't forgot about y'all. I ain't dead yet, but just it's a tease, just like anything else. So I think Steve, I would have to say, without a doubt, with it, I mean, Steve has had this on lock. I don't think there is another producer in the history of catfighting that does teases better than Steve,
I agree with you there. It's
better than
absolutely
street fighting.
fantastic, man.
There's not another. I don't. I mean, when I think about all of them, EC and WC, Vira,
Crystal Films, all of
Crystal
them.
Film, Shy Renee. Shy
Yep.
Renee was pretty good.
Mhm.
Shy Renee was pretty good, but I think
None of them.
none of them did it as well as Steve.
That is
Steve had the
fantastic.
ability to post a picture out of the blue and just generate a buzz like no.
Which he
And
just did.
a lot of that is a testament to him thinking that out. And then the other part is he puts up out enough quality content for
Hmm.
that.
Hmm.
You know, um, I know there's others like Slap City. I think he does the same thing, or he can do the same thing.
Oh, he can.
Um, Mexico, Mexican cat fights. I know there
Yep.
was a couple of times where posts were like Valentina and all of them
Yep.
ladies over there. You know, I mean, there's ways to do it. You know, it's just hard to do surprises because with the models traveling so much and they documenting where they're going, you know,
Bingo.
because they're trying to get sessions. So
Correct.
sometimes, like, oh, they're gonna be in Texas. Oh, I wonder if they're gonna go over there by Steve, or they're going to the north part of Virginia. Oh, are they gonna go see Lyric and
Yep.
and them up there? You know what I'm saying? There's
Yep.
certain cities you kind of figure, okay, if they're stopping through, if they're going through Raleigh, are they gonna go see Kim Chi? You know,
Correct.
it's there's certain people. Where's Darius out of fights? Where's he out of?
I think it's if is he California? I think so. I don't know if he's from Cali or Vegas. I forget. It's one of those two.
Yeah, I could have sworn it was like Vegas or Denver or something.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
Vegas. I think it's
So
Vegas.
like Vegas, you go through that, or you may go through Ariel
Mm-hmm.
X and her
Yep.
outfit. It's you have these things where it's like
Yeah, and if
that's
you go to
not out of
California,
the norm.
and if you go to California, you're probably going to see like Alexandria Hamilton, her little thing. So
Right, right.
all that. So a few
It's
so.
just so you just have these things where um so sometimes it's kind of harder
Mm-hmm.
to get these things pulled off. But Steve does a good job. He does a good job on that. But
He does a
there's nobody in the fight business that have sold the teas
the him.
as well as him. LFC was about the closest. If
Agree.
I had to pick a number two, it would be LFC, and that's
Agree.
just because. And I would say early LFC before
Oh boy.
um, the whole straight. They got into social media and all of that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's another
Um,
story. Yeah,
yeah,
they were good, like you said. Then yeah, popular commercialized and everything.
yeah.
So yeah, you're exactly right. So let's see. Yeah, that's it, people. I don't think we got anything else.
That's
I don't
it.
want to. I don't want to bring too much college football. So if that's your area, I'll leave that for the after
Sidebar.
sidebar.
Yeah,
All right, man. We're wrapping up, people. I'm surprised we got 26 minutes out of this. I thought it was
me
gonna be shorter,
too.
but we're moving. I'm gonna give you a chance to pull up real quick
Yeah,
stuff.
because September 9th would
Is it
be the
September
next
9th?
show. Yeah,
When is
September
Labor
9th,
Day?
because Labor Day is the second.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
So,
Everybody gonna be having a good time that day. Oh yeah. By the way, people haven't noticed Labor Day is also the end of summer, the unofficial end of summer.
no, unofficial end of summer is September 22nd.
I know, but you know how people are. That's the time where people wear white and all this other nonsense. You know how this goes. They act like this. They act like about Labor Day is the day where everybody's having cookouts and burgers and all that
Oh,
jazz.
yeah, 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 yeah.
They act like it's the end of. We
The
all know the
end of the
summer.
101 days of summer,
There
but
you go.
from Memorial Day to Labor Day.
There you go. That's what I was getting to. But as the man said, next show September 9th, 2024. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. Just tune in. Just tune into the show. That's all I want to say.
Tune into the show. Because now I will say we're hitting the home stretch because I mean traditionally September hardly have ever had any fights in a fight game. October
Eh,
you might catch one or two, a couple before it gets cold.
yep.
By the time we get to November, by the time we get to Thanksgiving, it's a wrap. Usually that stretch between
Done.
Thanksgiving and Christmas, New Year's is a wrap. But you know, I've talked about it before. There's that one window
Yep.
that I've talked about before.
2 weeks before
Yeah,
Thanksgiving and 2 weeks before Christmas. That's the you
two
said the
weeks
window,
after Thanksgiving, 2 weeks before Christmas.
and that's
If you're
valid.
going to get one more in, that's the week to do it
Yeah.
because that's 2 weeks after to get your body and travel right, and then 2 weeks before Christmas. Um, that way you can get it in, get it out,
Mm-hmm.
and you can get healed up. So,
Mm-hmm.
yep.
And then I
But
think the week is it the week, and then after that is it the week before, the week after New Year's Eve before anything happens again.
uh,
I'm trying to
well,
think.
it depends on how New Year's fall. Because there's
That's
been some years where New Year's, let's say if New Year's fell on a Friday,
yeah,
we've seen fights happen that Saturday and Sunday just because
correct.
it's still the weekend.
Facts.
But if New Year's fall on like a Monday, Tuesday, nah, man,
Nah, nah.
you may not see nothing until the next weekend or at least maybe Martin Luther King.
Yeah, this is true.
So
So with that being said, he put that up there. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and do my socials real quick today for a change.
okay, go
I
ahead.
can be I can be reached at Clem underscore AKUF on IG and Clem underscore on X, formerly known as Twitter. Whatever.
I am on Carswell at X and IG for right now. And for our X people, you know, like I said, normally that watch it on X, like I said, apologies. Twitter has changed it to where now if we're going to stream on X, you have to pay for us. We will have to pay to stream it on X. So I'd rather just post a YouTube link. But if they ever get to the point where they're going to start charging us for these accounts, we'll just go to Instagram. We'll just keep Instagram and
Yep,
just,
I agree with you.
Meta. I think that's where the war is going to start to begin between Elon and Meta
Yep.
because they're still kind of peacefully coexisting right now.
Uh-huh.
And but I can see where somebody's going to throw a rock, and then we're going to have another social media war because I think the way social media, I don't know what's going to be the next version of
Mm.
social media or whatever it is. Because think about it, social media as we know it, I ain't even been 20 years yet. Hardly been 20 years.
True. True.
So I don't know what that next thing is that will replace something like social media.
Agreed.
Um, and the only reason why I said this is because it's like by now, if you hadn't figured it out, you have some people do like Clubhouse or Bebo or Fanbase or I mean, Big O or fan base or some of these other things.
Uh-huh.
But if you haven't figured it out by now, I don't know. I think the market is too mature and too saturated.
Yep.
Um, to where even if you did try to come up with something between Elon and Zuckerberg, one of them is probably going to buy you out.
Yep.
You see what
Exactly.
I'm saying? Or buy out the IP of anybody else. Like some folks, they'll just buy them out just to buy the IP,
Correct.
even
And
though if they never plan to use it. Yeah.
exactly those two. With those two, exactly. They have so much
So,
money that you can buy your IP. And I
so it's
use
almost become where they become now the Coke and Pepsi or the McDonald's or Burger King, which I would argue Burger King probably lost their spot to Wendy's by now. McDonald's
I,
or Wendy's or
eh, Wendy's is
you don't
okay.
think so?
Wendy's is getting closer. Not quite. They're getting there though.
I think they're taking over Burger King, in my personal opinion.
Oh, okay.
Just for the standpoint of Wendy's still understand who they are. Burger King put stuff on the menu. I'm like, what?
Exactly. I agree
Like
with
the
you.
chicken fries. I'm like, I've had them. It's good, but I'm not. There's never the
Yeah.
concept of chicken and fries have never crossed me to the point where I gotta have chicken fries. Why can't I have chicken with my fries? Whether chicken nuggets with the fries or chicken strips with the fries. Why
Yep.
I gotta make the fry cut itself chicken?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. I hear you.
as
No.
not. And
Yeah.
then with the price point of it, I'm like, what are we talking about?
Yeah. The price
No,
point's ridiculous. Yeah. Exactly.
no. And I mean, I remember when they did hot dogs, they tried to do
Ugh,
it was
no.
so to where a lot of the franchisees was pushing back. They're like, forget this, man.
No. 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 No.
We're not trying to do
Burger King,
all
we
that.
like you, but there's the hot dogs. You should have just left that to the hot dog business, man. You're not in that thing. No. 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 You're known for your burgers. You're known for your Whoppers and your whatever else. You stick to that, please.
Now, that being said, there's something else I do want to review. I would say Cookout will have to be the best burger. I'm talking about national chain.
Okay,
There's
go ahead.
all little local spots you can find in every city. Like
Yep.
there's one in Virginia called Dog and Burger. And that's pretty much all they specialize in, dog and burgers.
Gotcha.
Um, I'm trying to think, is there anywhere else national like if you wanted a hamburger or a hot dog? It just
I can't think of one right now. You asked a very good question. I can't
even
think.
when I think about the old school Costco and Sam's Club, it was more about the hot dog and
Yep.
stuff. But I was trying to
Sam's Club
think of somewhere
still hot
that,
dogs. Sam's Club
depending
still.
on the day, I can get either a really good burger or a really nice hot dog.
You're struggling right now. In this era
Outside of
generation.
cookout, I can't think of that. Like Five Guys, I think if they ever did a hot dog, I think they could do a killer hot dog.
Yeah, definitely. Their burgers are fantastic. The way they put their burgers on the grill.
Now, I mean, yeah, now the
Different.
price point that may be like,
The price point is the reason that's killing people. But Five Guys, I recommend Five Guys. They're good.
you know what? I forgot the other obvious one.
Oh,
Sonic.
how did I forget about Sonic? Oh.
Sonic with the cone. I remember Sonic had that one big push.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, this was 5 years ago, 6 years ago, where they was really pushing the hot dogs.
Yeah, they was.
Because there was 3 styles. You could get a Chicago style, All American, or the Coney.
Oh yeah, Coney. Did they ever do a New York style? Anybody know? I'm trying to remember.
It was a Chicago because it had that tomato slice and sauerkraut.
Oh yeah, that's right. They did Chicago. I remember now.
They had Chicago. They had the American style, which was just basically ketchup and mustard.
Yep.
You had the Coney, and then you had the one with the sauerkraut onion thing.
That's it. I forgot the name of it, but I know what you're talking about.
Yes.
Yeah, they were pushing.
I remember there was a time where they almost kind of like, all right, well, we can't think of nothing else burger to do. We're going to really push these hot dogs. I don't know how well they sold, because they always had the corn dogs as well.
That's true.
Yeah, but I wonder if they did that as a response to Cookout, really taking, because that was around the time where Cookout was really just killing it. Or if it was just happened just to be happenstance. I don't know.
That's a good point. I forgot about Sonic. I'm trying to figure out
Sonic.
who's underrated, and I want to try to figure out who's underrated in their burgers, man. Because now thinking about it, you convinced me that Wendy's as bad as Burger King. You have convinced me that. What is Whataburger? I'm trying to figure out. I know they're not everywhere, but they're starting to
Right.
come up.
I'll put it this way. If I now there's supposed to be a Whataburger in Virginia off of 8595 in
Mm,
Petersburg, Colonial Heights.
mm,
But I will say when I went to Texas this summer in San Antonio, I ate at Whataburger, and the week I was there, I ate Whataburger like 3 times, man. I had Whataburger 3 times. That's how
I'm
good it
mad
is.
at
Just because I don't get it, it's the only one I don't get. And
you.
if I had Whataburger in the rotation, Wendy's still kind of beats it from a price point. Okay,
Gotcha.
Wendy's beats it from a price point of what I'm gonna get for $5.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But if I'm willing to spend $7.50, maybe $8, Whataburger is more filling.
Yep.
If I feel like, let me spend a little bit more, but I don't want to quite spend 10, Whataburger, I got a better value for.
Agree.
And that's why I think Wendy's thrive here so well because they don't have like Whataburger to go up against it.
That's a good point.
Cookout took out Backyard Burgers. Backyard Burgers now no longer exist because of Cookout. Cookout ate them alive. Five Guys, everybody who's had a Five Guy burger know that Five Guys is good, but it's that a la carte
Yep.
pricing, man. You
Yep.
mess around and pay $20-something
You said
for
it,
burger,
man.
fry, and drink. Not that it
Yeah.
ain't good. It's just like Five
Exactly.
Guys is so expensive.
Yep.
I would only want to eat it there and get like drink refilled. Other than that, you see what I'm saying? To get my
Yeah, I agree with you. You're not lying. You're right because I've had Five Guys two
money
or three
was
times when I was in Oklahoma. Not here, but when I was
them
in Oklahoma,
fries
you're
are
exactly
good.
right.
Them fries
The
are
a la carte
good.
was crazy. Like I'm paying $25 for this.
Yeah.
Like I said, a
I mean,
burger,
it's
fries.
not bad, but is it worth 25?
No.
No.
What? No.
But they stay in business. They stay in business.
They are good though, man. Their burgers is
Them burgers is good.
it's great, man.
Their
And the way
burgers
they
is
cook their fries is different too, because like you said, they don't do it like the traditional fries. They put the fries in front of you too.
Right, and they give you so many fries. You can't say you would never. The one thing you can never accuse Five Guys for is shorting you on fries.
They do not do that. That's one thing.
They do not shorten you on fries.
You like I said, you at least know one thing. When you get their fries, you at least be full. If you're not hungry on the burgers, you'll be full on that. At least
Right.
for a little bit. Right? Just for a little bit. All right, people, we're gonna stop talking about food now.
They'll be hungry again.
Me too. It's time to wrap up the show. All right, people. Again, from the parts unknown, go ahead and bring that part up. From the parts unknown, I already read that one. The Clem and Claw Show, second and fourth Mondays again. Right from the parts unknown, for my guy Kaiser, for myself, Clement Kufo, until September the 9th, we're out. Peace. Oh yeah, by the way, enjoy your Labor Day, people. Don't
Yes,
do too.
enjoy Labor Day.
Don't be on the news, please.
Right, and for those of y'all that like to get on the beach, this is your last rush before school kicks in. All right,
Bingo.
bye.
Bye.